Here we go, and Dave, if you have anything, comment throughout it, but we'll do it. Here we go.
And this is one of those, because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. And this is one of those, because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%.
Make America Great is about peace through strength.
And so President Trump is a leader of the peace through strength foreign policy doctrine.
The theme for issue 39 is "So It Begins."
All right, well, Dave Blaze.
How about that?
Right.
You would almost think, one would almost think that there's continuing conversations going on.
Again, how does this happen? And I want to bring out one more time, because there are certain ones online saying, oh, well, first of all, by the way, it was, Jim Ho only did some of it during the 2016 campaign, and then they fired him, right? Then I say, oh, wait a minute. After he became president, I photographed him again as president, and it's in the America's 250th book. Yeah. And listen, then it's like,
meanwhile, the people that are saying these things have contributed nothing.
Yeah.
What do they contribute to anyone's lives?
You know, with this, the other thing is besides in 2020 with working with Donald Trump Jr. as his photographer, and then after that, quite frankly, I was on tour really promoting Trump for a very long time, extremely long time with this. But it's interesting how people say, oh, well, that's still not good enough. But when we interviewed for George Magazine, not only RFK Jr. that we interviewed, but not only that.
And let's get it straight about Bobby Kennedy, okay? The only reason that we got the interview with Bobby Kennedy was through your connections.
Right. It was my connections, because it was failed so many times.
Right.
And then we did the connection there.
So to see somebody else who has not contributed anything take credit for that interview is really obnoxious.
The other point about that RFK first, Dave Blaze, is that to this day, when one of his attorneys, this is RFK's attorneys that work for RFK, when they found out that it was my family, my wife, that was selling them the cow, I mean, with their social circles, it's like, oh, they're talking about you because of your connection with RFK's attorney and all the discussions that we had. Right. So you have that. When it came to Marla Maples, we published her daughter's wedding photos in George Magazine. And to do that, we had to get permission from the Trumps, specifically Melania. Right. So here's the thing. We have been all along since we've been doing this, very on point. There's been times where sometimes something will happen. We'll say, we're honest both ways. We don't whitewash it, and we just tell it what it is. But once again, here we are, because we believe also in what Donald Trump is doing, or as far as his policies that are working, but you have a certain amount of people.
We like what he's doing. And because of the things that he's doing and his track record, we trust him that will continue.
Right. Yes. And the other thing is, we walked everyone through exactly what the administration was doing, why they were doing it, how he needed, this is Donald Trump, he needed the full cooperation of the House and the Senate, which he has now received. But early on, he didn't. Look how hard he had to work, even between that missing years where he was not president of the United States, but he was endorsing candidates to shape what is our House and Senate now. So
you know what's interesting, Gene, is that I find it laughable that there are people on the and especially on the far right, and I'm going to use Mark Levin's term, the woke Reich.
Right.
And there are people out there that say, "Oh, Trump never," and just like the left, Trump never built anything. He just licenses his name, and it's all licensing fees and so forth. I have to tell you, when I was personally doing the hardware schedules for the architects, um, you know, book that they put together
Right.
for each building. An architect will put together a whole schedule of various things: plumbing, heating and electric, the hardware schedule, everything that goes into the plans for a building. And I met with Trump and the building managers and so forth from Tishman. And I have to tell you, Trump had his sleeves rolled up. He was as much into what was going where with the architect, with the floor plans and everything else as anybody I had ever met. So he's a guy that digs in. He's not one of these guys that just sits in an office and pretends he's building something. He's out there. He's doing it.
Right. And Dave, please, because you are a New Yorker, I was a New Yorker. Could you please articulate to the people? And you know
He was sort of a New Yorker.
Okay, you know the, how can I say this? The what a person to build buildings. He has to have all these things all at once. He has to work with different unions, different companies. He has to do the budgeting. He has to work with the government, as they said, to get the licensing to build, as he said, straight up. This really what he's done is set himself perfect for what we see today. Your thoughts, Dave?
Well, yeah. See, President Trump, at that time, Donald Trump had massive connections. He had Roy Cohn as his attorney. He had, and Roy Cohn was like was a bridge into certain circles. So when Trump wanted to build skyscrapers, no skyscraper goes up in Manhattan without the unseen approval of certain people, right? It doesn't happen. So Trump had to negotiate with all sorts of different people in Manhattan to get all of that done, or else he wouldn't get any cooperation from the unions. They wouldn't get any concrete poured. He wouldn't have the electricity he needed or the drywall or whatever. So there was a lot that went into that, and he was very, very, very successful at it. As a matter of fact, let me tell you something. The situation with him in the casinos in Atlantic City was not exactly his problem. His situation got caught up in a different battle that resulted in there was supposed to be an airport that was going to be built right by where he was putting the casinos. So people would fly in and it would be like, a 5-minute drive or less to get to his hotels. And then things didn't work out and they wound up putting it elsewhere. And that's what really hurt the casino business down in Atlantic City. But that wasn't exactly his fight. So the people that want to say, "Oh, he started this up and it went bankrupt and all," that's all from the dummies on the woke right.
And the other thing about it is, the one thing that I have to say that is it irks me greatly.
Like this, so you think this stuff is big enough?
That's the whole coffee pot there, Dave.
That's the whole coffee pot.
All right, it's not an espresso, I don't think. Okay,
no.
When they talk about Donald Trump, we're going to talk about this probably in the next segment, or maybe we'll get to a little bit before. But there's been a specific dividing line because there have been many podcasters, or I would just say part of the far right, the woke right, but they were hiding behind the fact that we still support Trump, but Trump really doesn't know what he's doing. He's been overtaken by these people like Susie Wiles. And that is not true. Yes, Susie Wiles, a gatekeeper there. But Donald Trump has his hand and his pulse, and he knows exactly what he's doing. And they're trying to hide behind, we still support Trump. It's just that he's been taken over. So we really support him, but not the people there. And Donald Trump made it clear, as we're going to see in the later on, made it clear what his position is on people supporting him or not supporting him.
Look, we know that President Trump gave instructions to Susie Wiles and Dan Scavino, for that matter, to keep certain people out of the administration. I don't want to see them here. Don't let them in. I don't want to have anything to do with them, and so on. And he tells them this, and that allows him to sit back and act benevolent while they are his, more or less, like you said, his gatekeepers. So all of the criticism goes on them and not on him. But they would not be doing that, Gene. And you know this very well. They would not be doing this if President Trump didn't say, hey, I don't want those people here.
Yeah, and I said this many times before. I actually did a couple of videos of it and so forth, especially in the America's 250th book. One thing I could say, because many people have asked me before, the first question is always, what is Donald Trump really like? Second question is always about Melania. What is she really like? But the third question is he, this is Donald Trump, a puppet of someone? Have you seen someone behind the scenes to show that he's taking orders from someone? Donald Trump does not take, Donald Trump, he will ask people's opinions on the matter. But this whole thing that somehow Bibi Netanyahu is telling Trump what to do.
Listen,
it's
Gene,
absolutely ridiculous.
that whole line of thought of, oh, it's the Israelis, it's Mossad. No, that is just this, and I call and Mark Levin is right. They are like the woke Reich, not right, R-I-G-H-T, but Reich, R-E-I-C-H. That's what they are, because they're just a gang of Jew haters. That's it. No matter what happens. Oh, the waitress put too much sugar in my coffee. She must be a Jew. Oh, the cook in the kitchen burned my hamburger. He must be a Jew. The other, I mean, it's everything. It's so bizarre. I find it so bizarre. Don't you find it bizarre that these people are like this?
The point that you made yesterday on the live show, you said basically this. You said, okay, who is the nuclear power in the Middle East? And you know, there's one. Like, who knew? Israel. Right. So is Israel the state, the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism? No. They're not. So let's just put it where it is. And yesterday we brought out in the show, we brought out that even with our homemade F-35 Raptors, our top-level fighter jets, which, by the way, there's another one coming after that. I believe it's called the 47. They didn't name it yet. But our top fighter, United States sold it to Israel. Israel actually made it better. They put AI technology in it and made it better. And what did they do? They just basically gave one to the United States and say, have at it, look through it, see what we did, look at the modifications. And it made our military even stronger.
Right. That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Okay. Everyone, first of all, yeah, thank you very much for joining with us. I hope that you really enjoyed our opening video there. It's just interesting how it all came about. The other thing is, don't forget, if you could go to georgemagazine.com, we have the dispatch and we do this show live Monday through Friday. This is still our marquee show. This is the one we do on American Pulse TV, gets the most views, but we also do the live show. So join us for that.
This is where we say the most damaging things on this show.
I'll be honest. I really do love this show. And then Dave and I got it. So our timing on filming has kept us the most relaxed because we have this new schedule with the live shows.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone, stick around. We have this
Don't
commercial.
forget, there's big, massive changes coming with George Jr. I shouldn't say changes, but just additions. We are adding on to George. George Jr. magazine has shown itself to be a real juggernaut. So we are investing in just expanding it and growing it, and the things that we have planned for even the near future are going to be just bonkers.
And if I could just say this, we've had a lot of growth here, but also I won't say distracting because it's distracting in a good way. We knew that it was America's 250th birthday coming up. We wanted to get this publication out. We also had other projects, but now we got these out of the way. There's one more coming out, not say out of the way. We could focus on George Jr. So anyway, we have that. We'll talk a little bit about the Bitcoin, the crypto book that we have. Anyway, stick around. The American Pulse podcast is coming back. It was my mom that taught me all about the stock market, about mutual funds, individual stocks, what to look for. All of this stuff I learned and passed it on to my children. But here's the thing, when it comes to cryptocurrency, what am I going to do? Take advice from my children? So that's why George Magazine came up with the Complete Crypto Playbook, a simple way with all of these topics to help you understand all the nuances of the cryptocurrency. So simple that you could even explain it to others. So here's the thing, understand the difference between a hot wallet and a cold wallet. What about all these different coins? All of these things come into play in an easy to read and comprehensive playbook when it comes to crypto. So check it out. Go to georgemagazine.com and buy and download your crypto playbook today. Welcome back, everyone, to the American Pulse podcast, and thank you for joining us. We enjoy doing this show much. Now, as Dave Blaze has talked about, one of the things, and I'll let it out of the bag, is because we have a comic in George Jr. magazine, we figured out, we should have done this earlier, we figured out a way that online some of the children...
Okay, it is a comic, but it's not really like a comic. Right?
Yes. Okay.
It's every month, the George Jr. gang, which is George Jr. and his 7 friends, go through various situations that are typical for children growing up that are ages like from 6 to 12, and they go through these various things in school, and we bring them out through the adventures of George Jr. and bring them to a resolution. You'll see.
Yes. Okay. This is the speed up version. Of course, online you'll see the slow version so your children can read. But just to see how beautiful this is, and I know it's going too fast. I guess you can stop it and replay it. But the lesson is great. Anyway, 30 seconds. Here we go. All right, so there you have it. It's wonderful, and there's a lot, like I said, a lot more coming up with George Jr. We actually feel is necessary because it's the next generation.
Yeah. Well, this month, Gene, we have a situation where the gang starts their own little business where they're delivering different things and they're helping people and so on. And this other gang. They have a business too, but they're doing things through like deception and forcing people. It's really a nasty situation, even for little kids. And but the gang overcomes them through, well, you'll see, through the subject of this month's adventures.
Well, excellent.
They use the Bible. So
I noticed that they were all sitting there looking at it.
yeah,
And it's wonderful. A lot more surprises. A lot more, I could say, certifications coming up. Wait till you see what we have going on with that.
Yeah.
We are fast rolling with that. Okay, Dave Blaze. Today we're talking about this great, what they call divide in the MAGA community. As we've seen before, it seems, or more than seems, that this is manufactured. We had the poll that we showed from, it was an NBC poll, and CNN reported on it, that the MAGA base is actually growing, is not shrinking. So yes, there are fall offs with that, but a small number is actually rising. Yep. And these people are actually with Donald Trump. Donald Trump knows that. He's seen that with the primary, which his opposition went against his picks and they got blown away. Of course, right now they're saying, oh, I think it was cheating or whatever. But Donald Trump feels strong on it. And now is the time. It's midterms. He's basically saying, let there be no confusion. This is my side.
And you're going to see, you folks are going to see all of these certain people that you've been following and have been presented to you as patriots. Oh, the Trump supporters, MAGA, they're America first and all this. One by one, they start turning on President Trump. And it's all planned. It's all been planned out to happen this year. As soon as they turn on the Trump administration, unfollow them. Don't give them any credence because they're phonies. They're just phonies.
Now that you said this, Dave, I like to play this because we were, even from I don't know how long ago, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. Anyway, Dave, check out this video right here.
You ready for some uncanny timing? Because I wrote this back in May. Think about that. All assets deployed. Watch those in the news that you trust as patriots all of a sudden turn on President Trump and the administration. Remember, I wrote that back in May. Now, look what's happening today. You see exactly that thing going on, but where did we first see it? This is interesting because of this. All assets deployed, some that formerly, and you would think, that supported Trump are really sleeper cells. They pose as Trump supporters, but in the perfect timing, which is right now, they turn. So when people start to say that there's no plan, it's happening, and it's happening right now.
We have been pointing to this long ago, that some of these are really not truly on President Trump's side, and now he's even calling them out. And it's interesting with this Mark Levin post, which was this past week, made it clear. And when you see this tweet, notice what Donald Trump says in the end. Okay, here we go.
On Sunday, President Trump weighed in on the conflict, offering his support to Levin. He wrote in part on True Social, Mark Levin, truly great American patriot, is somewhat under siege by other people with far less intellect, capability, and love for our country. When you hear others unfairly attack Mark, remember they are jealous and angry human beings whose sway is much less than the public understands. And now we will know that where they stand, where I stand, they will rapidly diminish.
They will rapidly diminish.
Right. And the other thing we said is time is ticking for the Trump agenda to be pushed through. The election in the midterms, basically, I won't say has to, right? But it slows it up tremendously if Trump loses the House or the Senate. Yeah. Now, the picture that some of these so-called MAGA patriots are is like, no, they're still using these phrases. They're all rhinos. They're the swamp.
Yeah.
They vote with Trump. Sometimes they do showboat and say, oh, I disagree with the president.
But don't you understand, and I know you do, but don't you see that these people, in order to make money, in order for these tired former military generals, lieutenants, corporals, whoever the hell they are, in order for them to make money on X or wherever, they have to have a boogeyman. they have to have the bad guy. They have to have somebody to blame for what's going on. And obviously, President Trump has control of the Republican Party, right? Doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So who are these Republicans in name only? Who are the rhinos? If they're all voting with Trump, who are the rhinos?
Right.
The ones that are against him now.
Mark Levin even said that. You showed me a video of him talking that this was part of the grift economy, so to speak. I'm paraphrasing. Right. We actually put it in the December issue, or I believe the December issue. It was the end of the grift economy.
The end of the grift economy.
Understand that the way this works, MAGA influencers, so to speak, they rise up when Trump isn't in control because they could talk about, hey, this is the problem, this is the problem, and this is the problem. And they get a lot of viewers because they're already upset. Right. Now that Trump's in control and in power, and he has the Republican senators and House voting his way,
right?
They don't have that anymore because it is actually going in the right direction.
Right.
And for us, what we've been doing is mapping it out. We talked about why the ships were there in Venezuela when everyone else says, oh, it's about this or that. We told you what it was about. We've been telling you right along what this is all about. And that's why we still have an audience, because people look at us and say, okay, they're telling us what's going on, but we're not the people saying behind the scenes there's going to be something big's going to happen. We're just walking you through it. Your thoughts, Tim?
Right. Well, we'll point you to things that we see that are coming, little over the horizon. We'll point to those things, and we've got a great track record. If you look back at the articles that we've written over the last year, we have a tremendous track record for this. So
now, yeah, go ahead, please.
But what we're not going to do is we're not going to tell you, March 31st is going to be a big day. Get prepared. And the stupid phrase of buckle up, buttercup. Who in the world says that anymore?
And,
I mean, I see this sometimes posted online like, oh, man, that is such a tired line. Anyway, go ahead, Gene.
Yeah, one more point for me, because I want to give our viewers and readership what the next thing to look forward to. Now, even though Donald Trump has put a dividing line right there, and he says basically, hey, I'm on this side. The other ones, they're low IQ or whatever he said.
Yeah.
They're not on my side. Okay, besides that, because you know that basically anyone's now slamming Levin, Donald Trump is not supporting them. And they're making it obvious because they're like now officially have to move away from Donald Trump. Right. But the other thing that Dave and I has talked about, actually Dave brought this out to me, is what you have to watch out for is what a person's end result is saying. I'll give you an example. You might have a podcaster right now saying, oh, I still love Donald Trump. I support Donald Trump so much. I support him. But if his main thing is to get a person not to vote, if they say, oh, I would vote, but only going to vote after they take care of all of the voting machines and everything else, is cheating anyway, I might as well sit out. I support Donald Trump, but I'll sit out. Even though you are supporting Donald Trump, so look for that. It's almost by their fruits ye shall recognize.
And the ones that talk about and post about, you're not going to be able to vote your way out of this.
Right.
That's the other scheme to get you to not vote.
Right. So ultimately, watch for people that really want Trump, regardless of what they say, really want Trump to go down in flames in the midterms.
Right.
That's really what the seems like the objective is, because what they're doing is sowing doubt, right? That the elections are all rigged or whatever, so might as well not vote. Or like you said, the opposite. That doesn't matter anyway. We can't vote our way out of it. These are all rhinos. But that's not the case. Donald Trump needs I would say the management, but the leadership in place going into the midterms to finish his agenda. Okay.
Right.
Wow,
Right.
Dave,
So
we
the
covered
thing
a
is
lot.
just what Jane is getting at and what I'm getting at is whoever is telling you and using whatever verbiage that leads you to want to not vote, unfollow those people because they are being subversive to the United States.
Thanks for checking us out. Don't forget to go to georgemagazine.com and sign up for the Dispatch. It's free. Get the emails and the news stories. And check us out Monday through Friday, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. You can check us out on Facebook and YouTube. We'll see you then.